Greetings sailors and welcome back to World of Warships and a game of mine in the Francesco Carraciolo. I apologise for the lack of videos this week. It's more been because of a lack of replays to use, basically. I have been playing the game a bit, I just haven't had many halfway decent games, and I won't pretend this was an amazing game. It certainly was an okay game. It's just more that it was in the Carraciolo and you know it's a newer ship, so I thought this one would do for a replay. But otherwise it's been a mix of really struggling to have good games, and also I have been playing some NDA ships which of course I can't use the replays for or even particularly talk about. So anyway, this is going to be a half decent game at least, and it is a game where I can talk about the new Italian ships a bit, because this one does represent a bit of a step change from the lower tiers. Tiers 4, 5 and 6 are all rather low caliber guns, and you go from 320mm to 381mm with this ship, and also a really big step up in its AP performance, because I think I'm right in saying it fires the same AP shells as the Roma and the Veneto. It's those same 15-inch guns. So really good AP penetration, to the point where actually sometimes it's too good and you'll find yourself getting lots and lots of overpens, which you don't want. But it does make it a lot better at firing against angled targets, whereas the smaller Italian AP battleship calibers just wouldn't do much. They would just tend to kind of shatter and bounce. So conversely, whereas with the smaller caliber guns you would find yourself, or at least I found myself, using the SAP a lot more, with the bigger caliber guns I find myself using the AP a lot more. At least for these 15-inch guns. I mean, you've already seen me playing in the Marco Polo as well. You've gotten to see firsthand how good the 16-inch SAP can be. So there's definitely a place for the SAP on this as well. It's just the AP, in my eyes, is the ammo of choice. Sorry if I sound a bit distracted, by the way. There is a cat who has decided that my desk is the best place to sit and clean his paws and lick other parts of him right as I'm recording, of course. I mean, where else would you sit? I'm clearly sat here doing something at the desk, so he has to come and sit on the desk and just clean himself repeatedly, because, you know, it's his house and it's his desk and all that, I suppose. So really, I've no right to complain. So if you hear kind of background schleppy noises, that's what it is. It's now we've taken the middle here on neighbours, and this is actually looking like a good situation for us overall. I mean, we are a little ahead on points at the moment, but more importantly, the enemy team has split between north and south, and so we can basically mop up what's here with our superior numbers. And you know, this is all in theory. It can all go horribly wrong, of course, but we can in theory mop up with bigger numbers, greater firepower, and then turn around and face what's coming from the south. But we do have a couple of ships of our own down there, including one of our other top tier battleships, the Scharnhorst, who is just absolutely going to get annihilated sooner rather than later. So yeah, in fact they've just been sunk. So really we just need to not hang around too long getting this flank sorted out, and then we can turn to deal with what's coming from the south. If we lose the middle in the meantime, it's not such a big deal. It's just if we start to end up losing more ships than the enemy ships, then that will be a bit of a problem. This is good matchmaking, as you will have noticed, and this ship absolutely does tend to do best when it's top tier, as most ships do. When you're down tiered, the SAP is maybe something you'll get a bit more use out of, but the AP is still really, really good. It's just you've only got the 8 guns, the reload isn't great, and of course there's that Italian accuracy. And I think the line overall, as I think I was talking about in the Marco Polo video, you know, you kind of have to want to play them. In fact, the Marco Polo doesn't even really suffer the same way, because that's got better Sigma overall. most of these Italian battleships have, what 1.6 at best? I know this one does have 1.6, so yeah. You really are kind of struggling for reliability in terms of hitting things, and it doesn't get any better until really you get to the tier 10. With this, with only 8 guns available, I mean, it's more than the Gunnery now, sure, but you do also have a longer reload. And that's the other kind of downside. Like they make this line kind of a hard sell. Relatively short gun ranges, long reload, poor accuracy. It doesn't sound like a good combination for a battleship, really, does it? But at least, unlike, say, the Kansas, it's not mind-numbingly slow on top of it as well. I mean, it's not super fast, but it's got a base speed of 29 knots, so you can get over 30 knots with the Sierra Mike flag as well, so yeah. Now, I'm a bit torn here. Do I keep pummeling away at the Scharnhorst, or do I hope that my allies can deal with them? Because there's a Florida about to come round the corner as well. And I was kind of hoping to get some overmatch with my AP shells, but I don't know if I was getting any super good pens there against that Scharnhorst. So they're still alive. I haven't done any major damage yet, and now I've got to turn my attention to the much closer target, this Florida, who looks like is about to eat some torpedoes. And hopefully will also eat some, there we go, major citadel damage, which they did. 2 citadels and some extra pens beside. And as a bonus, I've just gotten the cap. However, that's a destroyer, that's a Japanese destroyer, so I can't hang around next to this island and wait for this destroyer to kill me, especially as we actually have now slipped behind the enemy team both in terms of ships and points. And we still have one of those enemy battleships up north. We haven't actually managed to kill that Arizona yet. So I need to get moving, I need to get maneuvering, and hopefully I will not get my ass handed to me by a destroyer that decides to jump me. And it looks like I am actually going to get away with it. It doesn't seem like they were feeling bold enough, or maybe they just didn't have torpedoes ready in time. So either way, I've gotten perhaps a little bit lucky there. Now, I did think of trying to finish off that low health Arizona, and again I thought, okay, no, it's fine, they're very low health. My teammates will take care of it, but they are still alive to the point where they've actually, I think, gotten heal off. There we go, just checking how my other allies are doing. So yeah, the fact that they're still alive is not great. If I do have to deal with them myself, at least the turret traverse isn't going to punish me too much. The turret traverse on the Italian battleships is one of the absolute positives. They did carry that over from Roma at least. So they do react very well, in that you can just swivel your turrets around wherever you need with generally not too much delay. I think the worst of them is like 36 seconds. And of course, if you take the relevant skill, you can get that down to like 30, I think. It's a very nippy turret traverse for a battleship. It's just a pity that the guns then have a propensity to miss. So, as we can see, we've finally killed the Arizona, and there's, you know, a couple of enemy ships in the immediate neighbourhood as well. But it's sort of now seeming like we might tip this back in our favour, because these 3 ships here together are not looking that healthy. In fact, they've just lost the Akatsuki. We did see a Vesteros being spotted way down south, and there's also a König that's been unaccounted for a little while. And I'll tell you right now, they are exactly where they were last spotted. They quit the game, or they crashed and they couldn't load back in, or whatever. But yeah, so the enemy team actually effectively has 1 less ship. But of course, we don't know that at this stage. We have to act as though they are still in play. It's just the fact that they haven't been seen so far, the fact that the shells that could be coming in from them don't seem to be coming in from them, would indicate that maybe they're still faffing around in the A cap. Well, you know, that's what we would think if in hindsight I didn't know that they are in fact entirely AFK. So that would appear to be Westeros torps coming in, not the ones you just saw, but the ones we saw over more towards the New Mex. So they're still on that side, so that really just leaves the Dallas and the enemy Carraciolo to deal with. Now that I can get my bow armor more towards this guy, I can be a bit more confident. Although I can't, I don't want to directly point my bow at them, because they of course also have the exact same 15-inch guns that I have, so they could just overmatch. They could pen through my bow, which I do not want, if they could get the hits. And of course they're suffering from the exact same gunnery issues that I am. I'm up to 90k though. This is definitely one of the better damage results so far I've had in this ship, and it'll actually go a little bit higher yet. It's not going to be super spectacular, especially considering some of it is going to be farmed from an AFK player, but even without that damage I would have counted this as one of my better Carraciolo games. At this stage, I mean, we've just got them on the run, really. They don't have anything particularly left that they can take out our remaining ships with. I mean, we're down to just battleships, and the fact that they did have a destroyer left in play, you know, if like the Akatsuki hadn't died, for example, that could have made a big difference, but the Westeros managed to get themselves killed. The Akatsuki got themselves killed, and now it's just this Carraciolo who has died to the KGV, and the Dallas who has been very sensibly keeping themselves hidden and trying to run away. So now we can just cap the middle, essentially, and then at that point we don't really have to worry about the timer going down, because it's not like they have a huge lead on points. They did get ahead of us, but not by that much. And I'm actually switching over now to SAP on the theory that the Dallas is much more likely to produce over pens, and so the SAP might produce more reliable results if I can actually hit them. That's the idea anyway. So I'm spotted, and there's the Koenig. Like I said, they must have left fairly early on just because they are still completely full health, and you know, the enemy team was moving down that flank at the start of the match. So yeah, the Dallas, bless their socks, decided to go out fighting rather than hide away in the corner and wait for the inevitable. So yeah, it's always nice to see someone who decides to go down fighting, and it's not like this was a ruffle stomp either way. This was actually, you know, quite a close fought game. I don't know if that Koenig being in play would have made that huge of a difference, but it might have. You never know. It is a bottom tier battleship, but still, one extra battleship player shooting their guns and using their health and whatever else might have made something of a difference, but we'll never know at this stage. So the rest of this is just basically us farming this this AFK Koenig. I probably should have sped this bit up, actually. I don't know what else there is to say about this ship. I mean, I kind of like it, but it definitely is a frustration to use, but I definitely like it more than the Andrea Doria, just because the bigger caliber of guns are definitely better in terms of producing good hits. The Andrea Doria I've had a fairly rough time with when I was grinding through to get this, because I was in the position of actually having unlocked the tiers 4, 5 and 6 with the last patch, the kind of pre-Italian battleship release event when they were still special ships. And then I got the Veneto, so I was missing out the Carraciolo. So I had to grind that from the Andrea Doria. Well, I didn't have to. I could have used free XP, but I did want to actually play it a bit. And yeah, haven't really been having that much fun with it. But this has been a bit better. And the Veneto is okay, but it's weird that it's a ship that would make me prefer to play the Roma. I didn't think there would ever be a ship that would make me prefer to play the Roma, but they've actually managed to do that. So Yeah. And then of course there'll be the Lepanto and the Colombo after that. So I'm a ways off getting those though. I'm not super hardcore grinding this line. They're just not that enjoyable, even though I have been kind of wanting them in the game for a while, and I think they are some of the better looking battleships. I do like Italian ship design, but the actual experience of playing these battleships is distinctly mixed, we'll put it that way. So yeah, if you've been struggling with this line, well, I won't say it gets any better until tier 10, really. You know, it is all about getting to the tier 10, and maybe Wargaming will buff the accuracy a bit at some point. I mean, they did with the German battleships. It took a couple of years, but who knows, the same could happen with these. But if it does, then I imagine it will be similarly far into the future. So who knows, that's all just completely baseless speculation on my part, I suppose. So if you enjoyed this replay, you can do all the usual things down underneath the video, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.